Breakfast in America. Supertramp there. It's Debbie McGee on BBC Radio Berkshire. Just left 25 to 11. If you're watching the time, you've got to get off to that football match or whatever you do on a Sunday morning. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of this artist, and he's one of the best-selling recording artists of all time, having sold more than 120 million albums all over the world. I'm talking about Neil Diamond. And this week, you'll get a chance to enjoy his music and his story at the Kenton Theatre in Henley. And that's because tribute singer Bob Drury is bringing his show, The Neil Diamond Story, there on Thursday. And he joins me now. Hello, Bob.
Hello, good morning, Debbie. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. So why do you think Neil Diamond has become one of the best-selling artists of all time? You know, not just of this decade or anything, it's of all time.
I think it's because he writes from the heart. He writes songs about human experience, you know, in love and lost love and all the rest of it. And so his songs aren't particularly topical, and they'd apply in any century, you know, like a good poet, if you like. So they're timeless in that sense. And in terms of his style, he draws from every conceivable popular music style to write his music. So there's a massive variety, from, you know, real tear your heart out ballads to party songs to big power rock songs and everything else. So it's one of the reasons why the shows work so well. Excuse me, I was singing late last night. It's one of the reasons the shows work so well, because you know, there's such a variety of music in there, and brilliantly written songs as well. Is
that why you personally love him so much?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can honestly say I never, ever get bored of singing Neil Diamond songs. And we change the show around every year. Obviously, there are some staple tunes in there that I'd probably get lynched outside the theatre if I didn't sing Caroline and, you know, America and things like that. But I do draw from Neil Diamond's acoustic material as well. And that's quite nice for me, particularly, to play my solo guitar and vocal, so I can cover that acoustic material, and I like to bring that into the show. But the set changes year on year. He's written hundreds of songs, and I'll never get them all done, but we try and represent, you know, a good chunk of them.
Because you've been doing it for a decade now, so yes. Just from what you've just been saying, I presume you can see this going on into the future indefinitely.
Well, I sincerely hope so. Neil Diamond is actually 76 this year in January, and he was 76. He's still on tour. He's just involved in a world tour this year, coming to the UK in October. So, I mean, if Neil can do it, I'm hoping I can, at least that point.
It sounds like you can.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more and more, yeah. And it's grown from a small comment that somebody made in a nightclub in London, you know, do you know what? You sound a bit like Neil Diamond. It's grown from that to, you know, to 90% of my professional work is now singing Neil Diamond songs. And
looking back to that one small comment, without that, you probably wouldn't have been doing this show, would you?
Maybe not. Maybe not. I didn't, you know, people say, were you a massive Neil Diamond fan? And, you know, I mean, I knew the music because my dad was a huge fan. So we got Neil Diamond every Saturday night, you know, at 11:30 when he came in. And so the music was already embedded within me. And I really, the first song I played from Neil Diamond was called Play Me. And it was just because I love the guitar part and I love the writing, you know. And but as I've explored his music more and more, and also the world of Neil Diamond, because there are millions of hardcore Neil Diamond fans around the world who've been following him far longer than I have. Yeah. And so, you know, that they're a great bunch of people, and I've met some of the super fans in the States, and it's a great scene, actually.
I've got a track here that I'm going to play in a second. We've got Hello Again, performed by you. So before we hear it, can you tell me just a little bit about it?
Well, I play the classical guitar, and I was tinkering around and came up with quite a simple arrangement, really, because it's a beautiful tune, Hello Again. I came up with an arrangement for the classical guitar, and I recorded it, and I was quite pleased with it. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And then when I put the album together, The Songs of Neil Diamond, where I look at over the 50 years of his career, I pick out songs and I've recorded them largely in my own style. I thought it would be nice to add some vocal to the classical guitar and see what happens. So normally Hello Again is with piano and orchestra, and in my case it's just me and my guitar.
Well, let's hear it now.
Hello again, hello. Just called to say hello. I couldn't sleep at all tonight, and I know it's late, but I couldn't wait. Hello, my friend, hello. Just called to let you know I think about you every night when I'm here alone and you're there at home. Hello. Lately it's been crazy and maybe I'm to blame, but I put my heart above my head. We've been through it all and you love me just the same, but when you're not there, I just need to hear hello, my friend, hello. It's good to need you so. It's good to love you like I do, and to feel this way when I hear you say hello.
Bob, that really is, well, it's an uncanny resemblance to Neil Diamond. I was just listening to it thinking, oh, this is Bob singing, but it really feels like it's Neil Diamond.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So you're coming to the Kenton Theatre in Henley on Thursday, and what's the name of the show?
Well, the show on Thursday is the Neil Diamond Story, and it's a format with my band, so it's a full show. And, you know, we're going to go through the live story. I'm very keen that it's not some sort of a lecture about Neil Diamond's life. It's really going through his life story with the music, so that we say the life of a legend in song. With a live
band as well, which is, what a bonus.
Absolutely, and my daughter is joining me on this tour. My daughter's just graduated with a music degree as a singer, and I'm very delighted that to have her working with me for the first time. She's doing the backing vocals, and we'll be doing the very famous Barbra Streisand duet, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, and she does a wonderful job of that, and so that's a highlight of the evening as well.
Oh, I've got that sent tingles down my spine, Bob. Anyone who goes along is going to have a fantastic evening. Lovely to talk to you. And
thank you very much for having me on the show. Thank you.
Not at all. So that's Bob Drury there doing his Neil Diamond show at the Kenton Theatre this Thursday, and it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful night, doesn't it? And with all his experience, he's not a young person doing a tribute act. He's not old, but you know he's had experience before he did this act, and that always makes for a good show because they really know what they're doing. It's coming up to 10 to 11, and of course at 11 o'clock, our very own Bill Buckley jumps into the hot seat when I've left, because my seat's always hot.